Live from Canada, it's the SSN podcast with your host, Larcher, Colin, Michael, and Liberty.
This is disgustingly good pog face.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the SSN podcast. We're just jumping right into it. Fucking Lib started talking about fucking Fast 9 and the trailer and stuff, and yeah, that's a hot fucking mess of a trailer that we saw. And we were just talking about like, oh, we'll do like the reaction faces, which is always like one person on the side with their mouth like wide open, being like shocked at what they're seeing. Yeah, with the yes, it's all that garbage.
Yeah,
and it's an unfortunate thing that we were talking that we brought this up because it's, if you look at all reaction videos, okay, I'm gonna search for some right now. They're all like that. It's all people with their mouths wide open, like, oh my god. I'm just gonna put reaction video, or it's super lazy and it's them sitting in front of their TV or whatever it is, watching something. That's all it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a clip. It's just a like thumbnail from the video.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna switch my vision here so you guys can see it. So all it is, it's just like, look, there's one. The people reacting to Bohemian Rhapsody.
Jesus emoji.
Oh my god. It's all it is.
That's
it's
awesome.
all
First reaction. So wait, no, was that video them for the first time hearing
Yes.
Bohemian Rhapsody?
That's
what?
That
was the whole thing.
What?
Have you not seen that? That is a huge thing where people like to bullshit, being like, oh, it's the first time listening to X, Y, and Z. And then they react to it. And it's like, oh
I should start doing that. It's gonna be actually realistic because I don't know half of them.
And some of them have gotten so bad because it'll just be people like, first time ever hearing rock music.
Yeah.
First time ever hearing, and they're just like so blatantly lying about it.
Dude,
It's
I would
ridiculous.
love like a first time hearing Bohemian Rhapsody, and it was just somebody being like, "Yo, this shit is weird." It's like,
That's
why do you
exactly
guys
what
like
it would
this
be,
so
though.
much? This is
Yeah.
awful.
That would be the realistic version of it, at least.
Oh, yeah, there's a shirtless guy. All right, doing a Tennessee whiskey.
Nice.
Like, it's just
Yeah.
Tennessee.
It's all it is. Like, there's this lady who's just screaming, a vocal coach apparently. Like, it's all this.
Okay,
It's all this shit.
That was
is.
Highway Tune by Greta Van Fleet. That's an actual response to listening to that song.
All these fucking faces. Oh, there's an episode breakdown of Invincible.
Oh, sweet.
It's,
Nice.
Yeah, like it's always the same fucking thing. Mouth wide
Yeah,
open.
look at that Invincible one at the. Go down a bit. Go down a bit.
Yeah, go down to the one with the guy with the
Yeah, right there.
Look at that.
It's
That
the
looks
classic
adjusted.
fucking. Oh my god.
Colin's got it perfect. Colin's done this before,
Oh,
obviously.
Jesus.
Obviously. I may or may not have the Select Start Network YouTube channel open, and I'm just looking through them like, we did that.
Yeah.
Do we have a couple of those?
And I may or may not have found Larsha doing it once.
Yeah.
Dude,
Right.
Have I had a React video?
Larshey does it in real
Not
life.
a react video, but like you're making that
That
face
face.
in a couple.
Oh yeah,
thumbnails.
that's me screaming. That's probably when it was the Five Nights at Freddy's I was doing. It's probably what those were, and it was just me screaming. So I just took those shots and then I put that in the video. See, I was ahead of the curve. Just the wrong product. I did it for horror games. It should have
That's
been
why
for
it's
reaction
okay when you
videos.
do it.
I think our only ever reaction video we have on the channel, and I
It's
might
me
be,
and Lib.
and I might be wrong about it, but I think it's Captain America. Not Captain America. Captain Sparkles. What the fuck's her name? Captain
Marvel?
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
Me and
Captain Sparkles, yes. That would have been a better version of it.
I
Yeah,
think.
She's
you-
sparkly, isn't she?
me and
That
Colin
was-
reacted
that
to
was
that.
something.
React to the Endgame trailer.
Yes,
That's
we did.
right.
Do that.
You guys were. Yes, that's right. That's
I
right. You
wait
guys
a
did
full
that.
day or two to watch that trailer. So I can watch it with Lib.
Aw.
God, man. That's right. That was our one and only react video that we have, is that of Endgame. The rest of it is just us being real dumb and some, oh my god, some very disgusting looking.
Oh, SSN plays Wet Work, baby.
Oh god, that fucking video.
John
Digging
Wetwork.
deep. Digging deep.
Oh man, Wetwork was something. It was so fun, but also extremely frustrating when playing it because there
Oh,
was no explanations to why you would get caught. There's no explanation why this would work here. And like, oh my god, like the one thing I remember this, the one thing that we kept doing, well, I kept doing, because Sinj and Glib was like, Gary, here's the plan. We have to go in the bathroom, get this guy. But when we went to the bathroom to get the guy, like, if the door was slightly ajar, you would get caught. If he made a noise, you would get caught. If you used the wrong weapon, you'd get caught. If you somehow killed him and he fell the wrong way, you couldn't pick up the clothes to look like the guy. Like, there's so many issues with it.
Oh, that's
Literally,
weird.
It was like the worst version of Hitman.
Like, yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
But then once we got rolling and we were just gunning for it, oh my god.
Oh, dude, do you remember the bush tactic?
We roll from bush to bush.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that was a fun one to do.
Oh my god.
That's
So
what you
is-
do in real life, though. Just roll in the bushes, right?
Yeah, when you're trying to sneak in
Yeah,
someplace, you
that's
just
what I do getting to my house late at night, so.
That's why
you
you're
don't just go through the door.
Yeah, that's why you're on a list now, Michael, okay?
That's on the list, yeah.
My ex-boyfriend won't let me in.
Michael's just creeping around the windows being like, Step bro, what are you doing? And Negan's like, I'm not role playing with you, Michael. We're not doing this.
Stop,
Step
bro.
I'm stuck
Your
outside.
wife is like, I'm not being the stepbro again. Stop.
Oh, I'm stuck in the couch. Oh, wow.
No.
You guys, you've seen that video, right, of the person making fun of those step bros or step sis?
Yeah,
videos?
yeah. I've seen them. Like, I'm pretty sure I've seen them all. Yeah, because
Oh,
that's where I got the couch idea. Because it's like, what the
Yeah.
freak? Who does that?
I
Stuck in
think-
a couch. Just move the cushions. Hello.
What
That was a weird thing that started happening in porn.
Yeah,
is
well-
people getting stuck places.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why this got brought up again. This got brought up again. Like yesterday.
The new pizza guy.
Yesterday,
What,
this
stuck
got
porn?
Oh my god. I don't know why. It's always this got brought up yesterday too, where it's like, oh yeah, people getting stuck underneath beds all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, me, it's like for tables and like this discussion of where people are getting stuck in porn videos. Then I had to stop and I'd be like, why are we talking about this? What is going on right now?
It's the future of porn. You know.
I think it's the past. I mean, we're in
No.
unfortunately this realm.
It's the present.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the present.
We're currently
depressing,
living.
right?
It's the,
We went
the
from-
worst meta of porn.
No, I still think the worst meta of porn is the actual sibling porn. Okay, that shit's weird.
That's
just
gross.
fucked up.
Actual siblings? Are you?
Yeah.
what?
No,
Well,
they're
they
not actual.
pretend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the
but it's
pretend
like-
stuff.
Oh.
Well,
God.
yeah, I know, but like not even like step siblings. Like
No,
not
no,
No,
it's
they're
like
actually, like-
brother,
That's
daddy,
still
what are you
weird, but
doing?
that's
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
oh.
gross.
Yeah.
Disturbing.
Weird.
Yeah, but don't worry,
Weird.
you're not gonna get any of that here on the Select Start Network. At least not yet. Not until we're desperate for
No,
money.
he's not-
Just
yeah.
give us a couple of days. We'll see what happens.
Make an OnlyFans, Larson.
wow.
Make an OnlyFans.
And then we'll just put in time to porn is at 13:45.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go to your place, late at night and start it up.
Oh my god.
We need
Wait.
an average TTP, the time till we talk about porn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is an aggressively fast one.
I don't know the one
Sorry,
that you
speed
weren't
running
there.
board, let's go.
I honestly, the one that you weren't here for, Lib. I'm pretty sure we got the porn a lot faster. I want to say it feels like we went a
Yeah,
lot
pretty
faster.
sure because I woke
went
up
right into
from
it.
like my sick nap, and then I opened up your stream, and you guys were already talking about porn.
Look,
I was
right?
like,
we have
okay.
our cliff notes that we have to hit every single episode. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's just one bulletin that says porn.
Just the
And it's
bullet, yeah.
highlighted and circled and exclamation points around it and shit.
Yeah, the one episode we didn't talk about porn. Justin all brought us into a call, and he screamed at us.
Yeah.
What the hell are
They
you
had to-
doing?
Yeah, I had to
Come
have a
on.
talk.
Stay on topic.
Need
you
more
fucking
porn.
know.
Stay on topic. Dear Lord. Well, one
It's
thing,
the first thing on the list. Come on.
and it's the only thing there. Oh my god. Well, like I said, you don't have to worry about that. We're done. We're done with our porn segment. Thanks for joining us.
We're gonna keep moving
I mean, it's still kind of in the sense of porn.
on.
The visual disgust that is Fast 9. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh my gosh.
I finished watching. I guess it's the first trailer that came out on the 31st, and I thought it was a joke. I thought I know there was like it was a meme that they're like, oh, they're gonna go to space. It's happening. It's gonna happen. And then in this fucking trailer, they get as close to space as they physically fucking can.
They took a note from Elon Musk, really.
Oh God, we got to. Don't worry, he's on the docket today. Don't you worry about fucking good old.
He's on the top. Yeah.
Little Musk there.
Well, he sent a car into space, so obviously Fast 9 can. Come on, or close to.
Is it really? Are
If
we at
Elon
that
Musk
point?
can do something, Vin Diesel can too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, are we at that point where it is believable in a movie that a car will travel into space while people are wearing submarine uniforms, like that kind of gear, Subnautica suits? Is that really what where people are going to believe now?
I don't think.
Like
I don't think.
cosmonaut suits.
I don't think Fast and Furious franchise ever gave a single fuck about what is believable in a movie.
Yeah, really.
But I
It
mean,
was like a
when they attached
fuck believability.
Yeah.
when they attached like a 30, I don't really know the metrics of it, but a fucking like 50-ton safe to the back of 2 Chargers and are like,
Right.
let's just drag this downtown.
but do you know
And
what
it
the
was
difference
fine.
is? They did that practically.
They did.
They
That's
did,
it.
and it looked cool.
Yes,
But-
so that's why it's believable, because they actually did something like that. Versus,
You're saying they didn't send Ludacris to space in real life? And then
They just don't care about believability anymore. They're just trying to go for straight, just like, hey, fucking watch this. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Car
Look,
chases. Stuff your
Absolutely.
face.
The
Popcorn.
wilder, the more people want to watch it, right?
Mm.
That's why Trump was so popular.
oh my God, why do we have to bring Trump in? We hit another
I'm just
keynote.
saying.
He's the
Right,
Vin Diesel
Trump.
apology.
Look at all the freaking networks that had Trump when he was in power, and look at them now, and look at the ratings. You'll see that Blair means viewership, right?
And just imagine if he was in space.
Oh gosh, I mean, he already tried with Space Force, so
Yeah, those guys were awesome.
All I know is there's one great travesty in that fucking film trailer. Anyways, they
What is
took
it?
Charlize Theron, who I call Catherine Zeta-Jones, before we went live.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, but
not even the
That
same
happened.
look.
Yeah.
But they put her in a bowl cut. They
Yeah, I know.
fucking took.
He's still gorgeous. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but
Just-
I mean,
Still Charlie's.
that was as close to ruining her as possible. Is all I'm saying.
Did you never see Monster?
Yeah,
The movie where
oh
she,
my
like,
God.
gained
Yeah, but they
40
put,
pounds and had, like, the prosthetics on her face, and she played a serial killer. She was like, the whole movie.
Yeah, that's messed up. That one was
Trust me,
an
trust
interesting
me.
movie.
Charlize Theron still love her to death.
I mean, yeah, no, 100%. Great actress. It's like, I don't know. I picture her, and this is not the thing that I would see her in. You know what I mean? But she's already
No.
been in one
Well-
with dreadlocks, which I'm like, you know what? I buy it. With her dreadlocks, Charlize Theron, yeah, you're gonna kiss Dom?
Yeah.
Sure, I'm sure that was in Vin Diesel's contract. That's fine. Good for him. You know, good for that guy. He's living out our dreams. But fucking the bowl cut. I just saw that. I'm like, are we in a Three Stooges movie? Is this what's happening? Is this a sequel? Like,
Yeah,
what's
right.
Chloe and Murray? But okay.
yeah, I mean, in terms of like different styles, I don't think I've ever really understood just the bowl cut. Like, I kind of get it. It's sort of like a fashion forward type of thing, but it's also like,
Forward? It's more like reverse. Like the
I mean,
bowl
it's
cut.
true.
was
Yeah,
like,
bowl
oh,
cut is
somebody's
like-
finally caught around. There you go. You're good. Like people were doing that in the 1950s are kind of loud. Even the 1920s.
Are we really going to become that podcast? We're just going to sit here criticizing a woman's haircut in a movie in character. Like, are we
I'm not
really
ta-
about to
I've
fucking do
gone
that?
past
Are
Charlize
we really
Theron
doing
at
that?
this point.
we've
This
been
has to do with
there.
her.
Welcome
This
to
has
the
everything
Charlize
do-
Theron cast. We judge her haircut every episode.
Yeah,
This
there
is
you
the
go.
podcast. We judge women's hair in movies.
So
I've gone
porn,
past. I've
judging
gone
people's
past that.
hair. Got it.
I'm all about just the haircut now. I don't care about Charlize Theron. She's an amazing actress. She can do whatever she wants. I'm talking about the goddamn haircut now. This shit's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Which is
But
not her choice. Let's put
I
it
mean,
that
it
way.
might have been. Who knows? Honestly, who
She
knows?
still looks pretty
Yeah,
good with
her
it. I'm
life.
not gonna lie. She
What?
so she still looks pretty good with it. Like,
Because
let's
it's Charlize Theron. She can do
If
whatever
there's
she
any
wants.
human on the face of the earth who can rock a bowl cut, it's Charlize.
Okay,
all right?
yeah.
and
give you
Coconut
that
Head
much.
from Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Okay, so but the story for this is just what
Might be too
Dom's
niche.
brother's coming back and he's mad. Is that what it is?
Wait, who?
Dom's
Sure.
brother comes back and it's John Cena, who we've never heard of or seen before, and he's
You
mad.
That's
can't
what
see
it
him. You can't see him.
Yeah. Reason we haven't seen him before. Invisible.
He was hiding.
He's been wrestling under the moniker John Cena for years.
Yeah, exactly. That was his cover story.
Dude,
Also, he's
I
super
can't believe
human.
it. They literally had the line in the trailer. He's just like, you care so much about family, but then you abandoned me, your real family. And then it's kind of like, Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, right.
John Cena might be onto something.
Well, no, because then I'm sure Dom's gonna have a line that's gonna be like, "Oh, it's the family that we choose that matters," or some dumb bullshit line like that.
Well, it's never going to be like an actual reason for them to have conflict. It's going to be like, you killed our mother when you were 5, and I'll never forget
Well, I mean,
it.
that's
It's
a pretty
like,
good
what?
reason. Fuck, sign me up for that.
But
man.
I mean, like, it's not like a realistic conflict
Yeah.
between siblings. It's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
be some dumb shit like that.
It's like, Mom, let you have the last cupcake. Vengeance is mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Vin's like, you can't hold on to everything, John Cena. I mean, my brother.
Yeah, do we even know what his name is yet? Like, do we know what this guy's name is?
Vinny.
It's
Was
not
it?
Vinny. Don't you dare. Don't you. It's
It's
weird.
Dom. Wait, no, his name's Sub because it's Dom and Sub. They're
Oh no. Dom switched.
I thought at first
So
I
what-
thought you were
so
going for like a
what-
Gears reference. Be like, oh, his name's Marcus. You know, yeah, Marcus.
Marcus is Dom.
Nice.
Oh, no, I'm having that.
Dom's
death
kind of
scene go
built
through
like
my
a
head.
Gears of War character. Like Vin Diesel's like that.
Yeah, he's got that
Yeah.
stock.
And John Cena too. John
Yep.
Cena too.
Yep.
So it's actually just a Gears of War movie. It's been
Yeah.
building up to this the whole time.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why they
right.
go into space.
No, but don't
Huh?
creatures come from underground, up,
Uh,
they on?
space, down
No.
in Gears of War?
well,
What? Don't they come?
You know,
from space?
you're right.
Don't
Don't
some
think
things
too
come
much
from
about it.
space?
No, they come from underground. Like they've been living underground forever, and then they pop up.
Yeah.
and they're like, hey
Also, they
guys.
aren't on Earth,
They're like,
though.
"Hey, it's
humans
time
are
to
not
eat
on
you."
Earth.
Oh.
Yeah. The humans are not on Earth though. They're on like some other planet called Sarah. They just never say like that they're from Earth. They
Okay.
just
It's like Star Wars.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Hold on.
just like
Okay,
Star
so
Wars.
I have not watched. I have not watched any Fast movies since like Fast 2. Okay.
Okay.
I have to ask. Is the kid Dom's kid or is that Paul Walker's kid?
No, it's Dom's kid.
So he has a
Which
kid
kid are
with
we
Michelle
talking about?
Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dom. Okay, all right. Fast 5. Letty's dead, right?
Yeah.
Or presumed
was-
dead.
I think
Yeah,
it was
presumed
before
dead.
she died. Yeah.
4, she died. In the 5th one, they're in Brazil. They do the whole heist, but then the one girl is like an F or like CIA or some shit,
Yeah.
and she's
Oh.
trying to catch Dom, but then they fall in love
Oh.
because Vin Diesel's so irresistible.
I thought that was
So
the
then-
Brazilian cop that fell in love with him, though.
Wait, what? Yeah, it was. You remember The Rock was working with that girl?
Yeah,
that
yeah,
catched
yeah.
Vin
Okay,
Diesel?
yeah.
Yeah. So then she falls in love. Then they have a kid, but then in the 6th one, Letty comes back.
Yeah.
And it gets
Right.
weird. And then the 7th, was it the 7th one where they kidnap the kid?
No, it was the
it's the Dom has a kid with this ex-cop girl thingy
Yeah.
who was going to
Thingy.
think that's his kid. But then, does she die in 8? I don't remember.
Yes, yeah. So like,
I stopped watching.
Charlize Theron in number 8 kidnaps the mother, and then plot twist. Oh, she had a kid with Dom, but didn't tell Dom, and then the mother
Yes.
dies. So then they spend a whole chunk of the plot trying to get the kid back from Charlize Theron.
I'm sorry. Is Helen Mirren in this?
Yes, she was in number 8. Yeah, Kurt Russell was in one of them too.
Yeah, I knew
don't
about
know
that
what-
one. That for some reason made sense to me. That made sense to me for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
why. Just Kurt
He-
Russell and
he's
the
like
kind of
a car
cheesy
star.
action flick. Cause I guess maybe because it's time from like Big Trouble in Little China. That made sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't even do anything in the movie. He's just like the CIA head guy who just like shows up. This is your mission. Here's your tech. Here's the people you're working with. Yeah. And like later on, they run into him and goes like, "Why'd you fuck up the mission?" Ah.
Dude, that was fucking Ryan Reynolds in Hobbs and Shaw too.
Yep.
Like you're just watching
Yeah.
Hobbs and Shaw, and then Ryan Reynolds is in it as some random like, I work for the CIA. You have to do this, Hobbs. It's like, wait, what? You got cast Ryan Reynolds for this role? He's in
Yeah.
it for like 30 seconds.
Well, I say, hey, easy paycheck for him. He just has to show up in a suit, look good, hit on Dwayne Johnson, and then leave.
You know, the usual for him.
Yeah.
That's true. I'd do
Yeah.
it too.
Okay, all right. So then, can you explain to me the idea that
Explain like I'm 5. The Fast and Furious.
no, you know what? I'm done. I'm
franchise.
done. This movie's just nonsense. It's all. I just
Yeah,
have to
just-
accept it. It's just
Yeah,
utter.
I-
It's just.
I'm
bananas.
gonna admit right now, even though it's gonna be absolute nonsense, I'm still kind of excited because I have actually genuinely enjoyed all but one of the Fast and Furious movies.
Which
So I'm
one?
actually
Which
looking
one?
Oh, which one did
forward
you?
to Hobbs and Shaw. Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh
was
yeah,
the-
Hobbs and Shaw was
Oh.
doo-doo. Hobbs and Shaw kind of had a cool last fight scene, sort of.
Come
Yeah,
on, I had
kind of.
Roman Reigns.
That's about it,
Ooh-ah.
though. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, and then fucking The Rock says Uso to everybody, and he's like, "I got you, Uso, no problem, Uso," and they're all bicep high-fiving each other for like 20 minutes. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like equally the worst and best scene of all of cinema, I would say.
Okay. All right. Well, speak of cinema. All right. Excellent segue. The fucking Oscars have rolled by this past little bit.
Oh yeah, you guys watch it?
Yeah.
No.
Did anyone here watch the Oscars? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Who here watched the Oscars? Schmucks?
I gotta
In
be
chat?
honest, I didn't know it happened.
Only 10.4 million people did, so
I saw on Twitter something about how the Oscars ratings were the lowest they've ever been. And I thought to myself, oh, I didn't know the Oscars was happening.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of with you. I didn't know it happened until Colin posted the article. So this is a Variety article by Monica Medi Zarilla, and it literally just goes over how this is insane to kind of talk about. And this is the Nielsen ratings, and they don't consider online, but I don't even know if the Oscars were online this year at all. I don't know.
Don't
But
think so.
I think they were somewhere.
Well, yeah, so like the preliminary national numbers on average were 9.85 million viewers tuned in on Sunday evening to watch a more intimate and stripped down version of the Oscars in the midst of the pandemic. That's a 58.3% drop from, so that's 13.75 million viewer drop off from last year. Holy shit. And this is the third year they've gone hostless for the Oscars.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's just kind of showing the whole live TV is like doesn't have a draw, and also the fact that no one saw any fucking movies this year, so people didn't know what movies were.
Okay,
Yeah.
so speaking of that, okay, I wanted to talk about this. I went through the list of films, okay, and Oscars 2021 winners. I'm gonna pull this up, and we're gonna go through some of the movies and some of the categories for the winners and stuff. There's, in all honesty, there's maybe one or two films that I've heard of, and the rest of them I haven't seen any advertisement, and I haven't heard anything of them. So the only ones that I've
Same.
actually heard of is The Father with Anthony Hopkins, and then there's what the fuck is it? Promising Young Woman is another one that I've heard of.
I heard of that one too. I saw some stuff on that. It
And
was
then, like, in
Yeah.
all honesty, I don't know. There was another one, and I can't even see if I could find it anymore. But a Soul for animation, but whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Another round. I never heard of that.
Pixar
one.
just makes a movie and it gets fucking nominated.
Well,
It doesn't
let's
matter.
take a look at the competition for that, all right? For best animated, right? So Soul's the winner. Their competition was themselves with Onward, and then Over the Moon. Never heard of it. Shaun the Sheep movie Farmageddon, and then Wolfwalkers.
Yeah. What do you mean? Farmageddon is the
What?
best.
Never heard of it.
Farmageddon, baby.
Like, I know Shaun the Sheep. Never heard of the fucking that movie. But yeah, like there's
It's on Netflix.
fucking The Father, Sound of Metal, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, Maneri, Judas and the Black Messiah, The Trial of Chicago 7. That was a Netflix
I
movie.
saw stuff about Judas and the Black Messiah. That looked
I,
good too.
I
Yeah,
did.
I only saw something about that after the Oscars.
Yeah.
Nomadland.
Yeah.
Nomadland was the other one that I've seen things for. But like,
I've seen two of the ones that were up for Best Picture, Mank and The Trial of the Chicago 7. I've heard of Sound of Metal. Haven't really heard anything about the other ones.
so
Heard of Sound of Metal just because of Riz Ahmed's performance is really good. I heard.
so
Yeah,
that's
probably.
So this is one of the kind of conversation. So is it because that the Oscars weren't that popular because they didn't have the same showmanship or the hosts that they usually have, even though for the last 3 years they haven't had a host? Or is it that a majority just no one's heard or seen these fucking films, so no one's interested in watching the Oscars?
Well, let's
Both.
look at.
I think it's both, and I think it's also just a lot of people have, at least personally, not lost faith in this, that I had so much faith in the Academy, but less people just care. People
Yeah.
care less about the Oscars, who wins the Oscars now.
Exactly.
Kind of with the internet and like a free access to different reviewers and stuff like that. the Oscars really aren't a way that people are judging a lot of movies in terms of like, you know, performance, stuff like that. Because I mean, even watching the Oscars over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of noms and wins that I just have not agreed with.
Yeah.
There's always
specifically-
been wins like that because
Yeah.
the Oscars is more political than
It is, and like that's a big issue with the Oscars. I remember the one that really ticked me off was Bohemian Rhapsody won video editing, and that movie specifically had bad editing.
Yeah.
That movie specifically was not edited very well. It was, you want to give Rami Malek best actor for it, go ahead. He was amazing in it. Great performance. But fucking editing, are you even watching the other movies? Like,
There's
I don't
an
know.
example online that was for Bohemian Rhapsody, and I remember this. It's a scene where
it's the dinner scene.
where they're outside on an outside scene, the table and chairs and stuff, and people are walking in, and it's these cut of people reacting like, oh, he's in, oh, he's in, oh, he's in, oh, he's in, and there's like maybe, no joke, about 5 to 10 seconds of no dialogue. It's just everyone acknowledging that someone entered the room. And then
Just cut it.
yeah.
And then it's them pulling the chair, and they're watching him pull the chair. Everyone's watching him pull the chair. And then he sits down. And it's like, how is this great editing? This is just, it's like the editor's just like, we need to fill up the time. We're about 30 seconds short. Let's just put the...
Yeah. Well, you know why they got to do that. They had every single member of the band was like was like involved in the making of the movie. So they all were like, "No, am I having a close up in this scene? Am I having a close up?"
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck off.
But they won the Oscar for it, so apparently that means it's good editing, right? Like it's
Yeah, that's
the
right.
Oscars
The
are-
Oscars have never picked anything bad for an award. Never.
I feel like anyone who's really into film and just movies in general has kind of just not like doesn't care about the Oscars anymore.
No.
You want to see who wins Best Actor, Actress, and Best Film, but a lot of the other categories are kind of just a toss up for who they want to give it to. Like it's
Well, that's exactly it. It's just so biased.
and if there's anything that the Oscars is really good for, is that just look at the best films and the best actors and actresses and best performances and go watch those movies because they've been nominated for it.
Yeah.
So
That's kind of how I use them. I use the Oscars as like a list of good movies that I should probably check out at some point.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, but the idea of like, but just game shows or award shows in general, like I feel like as we like are getting through a time or as like, you know, more people are reviewing, like for me now, if a game or a movie won an award, it has less merit for me than if one of my favorite reviewers on YouTube was to say, this is like the best thing I've seen
Yeah, exactly.
in
So,
forever. So it's
you
more
touch on
personal
that.
almost.
That's a very important thing to touch on. So I feel like websites like, we'll say like your Rotten Tomatoes, your Metacritic, all these other websites that are a group of people rating or, you know, deciding if a film is good or not, or even a game or whatever. It literally feels like now, for me personally, I think Lib, you're kind of the same boat maybe. I don't really care about what the mass have to say. I like seeing what an individual, what their voice is. So like
Well,
like
yeah.
Jeremy Johns or Chris Stuckman and stuff. Like these are individuals who will talk about it and then they will give their honest opinion and not have to worry about, oh, am I going to offend X, Y, and Z, or I have to meet what my publisher wants.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's-
those are two of the ones that I've always kind of watched because I always watch Jeremy Johns because he feels like just that guy you always run into and you just talk shit about whatever. Chris Stuckman is like he's kind of like the film bro, but he's like a really cool film bro. Then I used to watch Andre the Black Nerd because he feels like he always gives me like this super nerdy perspective, especially on like Marvel movies and DC movies. So I felt like between the three of them, there was some opinions that I was actually able to value.
Well, the reason why, and actually, it was an old video by, do you guys know Video Game Donkey, the YouTuber?
Yeah.
So it was an old video of his where he was talking about reviewers, and he like specifically was talking about this, and he's like, don't listen to a bunch of mass reviews that rather rate something good or bad. He's like, find a reviewer who you relate with in some level. And
Exactly.
he's like even reviewers that are really bad. Like there's this one reviewer who put like Citizen Kane as one of the worst movies ever, but then put Man of Steel as the best movie he's ever seen. which
Yeah.
Man of Steel is fine, but best movie you've ever seen is little. But he's like, even reviewers like that, their opinions are so polarizing. You know, if they're like, this movie's great, you're like, okay, this movie's shit.
Yeah.
Or when it's a reviewer you actually get along with, and you know, this reviewer says, hey, this movie was awesome for, I liked this, this, and this. And then you go and watch the movie and you say, man, I really liked this, this, and this. Then from there on out, you're going to like value their opinion because they align with what you like. And then, you know, maybe they have an opinion of a movie and you go see it and you have a different one. That's totally fine too. That's all about, you know, crafting your own. And like the most important opinion on any content is your own. Like always.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's, you know, I find reviewers are like the best, but it's about finding a reviewer that you're, you know, because even like Your Movie Sucks, I really enjoy his reviews. He's really blunt about stuff. He only talks really good at movies when they're great movies, and I found that I'm the same with that. But also, I think he's a little bit more critical than I am. So there's still some stuff in a film he's critical about I can enjoy without having that. But again, it's different views, different. It's, you know, you have to take that into consideration when watching reviews.
Yeah, people used to do that with like newspaper movie reviews. They always used to look through the newspaper to try to find a certain reviewer written in the newspaper, and now just YouTubers are kind of the new version of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's how you got like popular as a reviewer, is having good reviews that people aligned with. It was like, and it's such a hard thing to do.
Even just reviews people want to watch just to get the opinion. Like you're saying, even a bad reviewer can still offer the information that gets you interested in watching the movie yourself, right? Or form your own opinion. So versus,
sorry, I was gonna say, even like they can, if their opinion doesn't exactly line up, they can still bring out things that you wouldn't have never thought about in the film that can highlight stuff for you that you might want to consider. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just Oscars, and I think award shows in general. Like because I think like video game awards specifically are so whatever for me, because every single game just comes out with a Game of the Year edition.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I'm like, I don't think you won Game of the Year, but okay.
Yeah.
Game of the Year. You won Game of the Year at the Norwegian semi-pro video game awards, where there's only 3 categories.
Hey, you know what? Hey, sometimes if that's what helps them get the recognition and maybe make a little bit more cash, that's fine. Tracy's doing that right now with her photography. She won a photo contest, whatever, through Fanshawe College, and now she can say she's an award-winning photographer. So you don't have to mention
exactly.
But she's an award-winning photographer now.
And if you want to do that, go ahead. Yeah. If you want to say your movie was Oscar nominated, Oscar won, you deserve every right to, because you won that.
Yeah.
But you know, I think just specifically for content and stuff, it's more reviews than it is awards. Like, you know. It's kind of it's just I think that's just something that's coming with time now. But everything maybe we'll loop back to awards really really meaningful again. Or
well, I have a theory with that, and I think it's once COVID is all settled down and people want that spectacle again, that pizzazz and everything, and the Oscars can come back in and they'll have their like 6-hour-long show with the fucking nonstop performances with the host. You know what I mean? And they're able to gather all the stuff again.
What are you wearing?
Right? And like,
it's just an absolute shit show.
Well, it'll be terrible. Don't get me wrong. It'll be disgusting and long and like overproduced. But they're gonna get the most. They're gonna get the most ratings that they're ever gonna get for that one fucking show. And then next year when it rolls by, it'll like peter back to how it was. And then they'll be like, we don't understand what's going on. It's like, read the room, bro. Just read the fucking room.
Exactly.
And every single fucking joke's gonna be about COVID. I'm surprised you can hear me. I don't have to wear my mask anymore.
I almost feel naked without it on.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be awful. Because like you remember the year after Trump got elected, the entire show was just Trump jokes, and it was like, I get it. we got it.
Yeah. You fucked up. Oh, see, and then there's Tom's in chat right now, and he wrote, I think people aren't feeling the rich actors these days, though, as well. So it's losing its pizzazz there. It is true, right? Like, you're rewarding the rich for being popular for some of these things. So some people don't really have interest in watching that anymore.
Especially nowadays, right? People are suffering with all this COVID stuff. We don't care about rich people getting richer or rich people getting more rewarded. We're dealing with our own crap, right? We want something. We don't keep like that's just been my opinion on a lot of this stuff because I mean I look at a whole bunch of different shows or any of that stuff that just don't have the same viewership or anything because people just don't care. People are trying to survive right now, right?
Yeah.
That's the new show, trying to survive on your own. Like we
On
don't have
HBO
time
Max.
to watch. Yeah, exactly.
I think like it also kind of showed a little bit how tone deaf a lot of the celebrities are to like the real world. Like you remember, did you guys see when they did? What did they say? They think they sang. Was it Imagine?
Yeah,
Like,
oh,
it was, like,
yeah.
a bunch of famous people singing,
Yeah.
and it's just them awkwardly singing into their iPhones as like a support for like get through COVID. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this supposed to mean? Like,
Well, that's the thing is how can they relate? Right?
yeah.
They're
Well,
so comfortable in their life, and meanwhile, you
Yeah.
got people that they have to go and get vouchers to get food.
Yeah. But
It's like,
it makes me laugh for that video because there are some actors who had enough self-aware to be like, maybe I won't sing this in front of my giant garden with 6 swimming pools and models walking by. I'll do this in the kitchen, or I'll do this behind this next to this white wall, so I can relate better. But then you have other people who are like, here's my Lambo. Imagine all the people, and it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
we're like, come on,
There's all
like what the
I could have
fuck,
planned,
dude?
but instead I bought a Lambo.
Right?
yeah. No, I can't stand that. It's just you cannot come to me and be like, "Oh, I understand how you feel. You can get through this." When you have absolutely nothing in common with me whatsoever. I mean, I've got 4 kids and I got to go to work every day. Meanwhile, you're sitting in your nice little freaking $1 million house or $10 million house, right, with a pool and everything, no problems. You had to, what was the whole thing with the whole toilet paper thing, right? Like everyone was buying toilet paper like crazy, and what was the one celebrity was just like, oh, don't get all crazy with toilet paper. You don't understand what people are going through. So like, just shut up.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people are saying now. It's just we don't care. Shut up, rich people, because you can't relate to us. It's the same thing with the politicians there and everything.
I think
And
that
again,
recently, a big thing for me has been I've seen stuff like it's like Kim Kardashian was seen wearing, and I'm just like, I don't give a single fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just get so pissed off. I'm like, do you know what's going on in the world?
exactly.
Like, what people are going through? COVID's going on, and like all of this shit. Police brutality is still fucking crazy high, and then you're on interrupting my day to tell me that Kim Kardashian was wearing a fucking blue dress, and I'm like, I just get pissed off.
Lip, she's getting a divorce from Kanye West. Lip, did you know? Lip.
Yeah. Because that's so much more important than anything else going on in the world. Like, give me a break.
I do understand, this is playing a little bit of devil's advocate, but I do understand the idea that people do need a disconnect or a distraction from some of these things happening, right?
Yeah,
right. That's technically what we're doing here as an idea, is like, it's something that they don't have to think about all the time. So like, it's maybe they do want to read, oh, is the dress blue or gold on Kim Kardashian? Oh wow, fucking Elon Musk is gonna host SNL, that kind of shit. That's a segue right there.
That is a segue. I saw an article that was really confusing to me because it said SNL cast members have the choice to not participate in this week's episode with Elon Musk because he's kind of a controversial figure.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, okay, so like, who made us stink out of that? And it was like, none of the cast members have decided to do it, though. And I'm like, so why'd you make an article saying the cast members can, but no one has chosen to? So, like, it's almost like we want to address that. We know he's not perfect, but also we're going to bring him on our show to boost his popularity. And
the reason why, right? The reason why they're getting Musk to come on is because, he's such a polarizing character now, where he's no longer just this mega genius billionaire who has set up things like the Boring Company, SpaceX, Tesla. He's now this figure of just, I swear to God, ever since he's been on Joe Rogan and he smoked that fucking giant joint, he coughed, and like he's like, people have now just wanted to know everything about this man, and he is taken to fame because he was famous before, but he was like Bill Gates famous. He was I was like gonna
boring
say
famous.
Like, but he wants to be I forget the guy, the gentleman who passed away. He used to run Apple. What's his name?
Oh, Steve Jobs.
Steve
Jobs.
Jobs.
Thank you. Yeah. Like, I think he wants to be Steve Jobs famous, where, like, it's a name and you recognize the face. You're like, oh, that dude was super energetic, and he's like, he could sell whatever. I think he wanted to be that kind of persona, but he has taken it to a fucking disgusting degree where, because of him, Dogecoin is a thing and it's fucking viable now. He says some very inappropriate things about rescue miners and stuff, and calling them pedophiles because they didn't like the idea that he had the Musk had for getting some kind of submarine to go down there, whatever.
Yeah, he wanted to make
that didn't work, by the way. That's why.
And it's like all these things, and now a lot of people and it's not even just the cast members are not happy with the fact that Musk is going to be there. A lot of people on Twitter, they were writing, they're like, can we not get this man on the air? Like, do you really want to give him a mic? Because he even put a tweet out saying, oh, let's just see how live SNL really is. And with a little devil.
That's some Joker ass shit to say.
Right?
Let's see how live they really are.
Yeah. Like, he'll get there and he'll be like, we live in a society. And it's like, oh, shit. Nope, this is it. He's gonna pull a gun out and he's gonna shoot Robert De Niro.
What happens when you mix a person who ended that? That's just like, let's go.
But that's where a lot of these media groups are right now, right? They're essentially stretching as far as possible to get the most fringiest thing that's going to hopefully bring viewers back, right? And the most controversial, the most eccentric, they're hoping that's going to save them, right? When that's not what people want.
Well, Elon Musk too. Again, this is like kind of with sort of going back to what we were saying about the disconnect between the larger society and us now. We more often now are going to be like, oh, okay, you're a billionaire, right? And they're like, yep. And you're like, you're not doing anything to help economic growth in the rest of the world, though. And you mistreat all of your employees, though, right? Mm-hmm. And then they're like, well, yes, but I do funny tweets and I made a flamethrower. And it's like, oh, cool, but you mistreat your employees, right? Yeah. And they're just like, it's like this, again, this bigger disconnect where I think even like Steve Jobs in like now in today's age, I think people would be talking a lot more about the mistreatment of Apple employees and sweatshops and stuff like that. Yeah. And he wouldn't be so critically, everything's all grand. Whereas Elon Musk is a young, popular billionaire figure. But then you can look at all of his companies and say there's some unethical practices. You're not being great to all of your employees. Everybody says it with Jeff Bezos, like the guy who runs Amazon. Everyone's like, okay, it's cool that you're the richest person in the world, but you're like, your Amazon employees are dying. Like they're struggling out in the world. It's not always perfect. Peeing in bottles. Have you seen, okay, this is like getting off topic, but have you seen like the burner accounts for that? People will tweet like, how, like, dude, I can't believe Amazon's making their employees pee in bottles. And then it will be like a burner account with like 2 followers, and it's like Jen from Amazon, and it will tweet at them saying, hey, I work at Amazon store blank, 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 and I never have to pee in bottles. I always get access to restrooms.
Yeah,
and it's like, and it might not actually be burner accounts. It could just be people trolling. Like,
well, no, they had an article. There was an article about how Amazon was essentially paying all these Twitter accounts and people that have all these Twitter accounts to say positive things about Amazon out in the Twitterverse. And it's like, seriously? These workers are literally trying to fight for their rights at this rate. Yeah. And you're going to pay money instead of putting that money towards the workers, towards this other group of people that are going to try and influence your image back into the pot. Like, and again, put that money to the workers. Come on.
This is actually a perfect example. We're talking about Amazon. Who runs Amazon? Who used to run Amazon? Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, he used to. Yeah.
He used to.
He doesn't anymore?
No, he stepped down. But this is a perfect example of it
stepping down, but I think it was going to be like later this year or something.
No, I'm pretty sure he's already done it, and the board's taken over.
I think
he still has 1 billion shares in it. But I mean,
he's a billion.
Yeah, I mean, he's still making money off it, right?
But this is actually a good example of the differences between, we'll say, an Elon Musk, who runs all those other companies, and a Jeff Bezos. When we have problems with SpaceX, Boring Company, or Tesla, we don't mention the companies. We mention Elon Musk. When there's problems with Amazon, we're not talking about Jeff Bezos. We're talking about the company itself. And it is interesting. And again, it's this idea of like this perception of this is what happens when you put yourself in the limelight. You get under fire for everything else. even though
That's
you
fair.
might not be the person who deserves it, or you might be the person who does deserve it, and there's nothing you can do to escape it now. And this is the kind of shit that's going on with the SNL stuff, where there's these tweets, and I pulled this up from a Philip DeFranco video, where he talks about it. And it's like some people just posting on Twitter their thoughts about Elon Musk being there. And you have someone like, I'm going to butcher her name. I'm going to, 80 Bryant. She's one of the cast members. And she retweets a thing from Bernie Sanders that talks about like the 50 wealthiest people in America today own more wealth than the bottom half of our people. And she only tweets that when Elon Musk comes up. You know what I mean? And then you have Faye Dunaway who goes in and they write, like, what the fuck does this mean? And it's talking about Elon Musk writing, let's find out just how live Saturday Night Live really is. And it's this...
It's such a supervillain thing to say.
But that's Elon Musk, come on!
Techno King, babe.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But like, and it is sad because you know that the SNL execs are only getting him on because they know that they can get like a hot take from this man, which will probably, at least the opening monologue, they're gonna get some views. And
But that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Because he's so eccentric and so just off the rocker. That's what they're banking on.
Well, and like I feel bad for the castmates too, because like any situation like this where you have the chance to, like, it's like they're allowed to not participate in anything like that. You easily, just by saying, okay, I'm not comfortable, I don't want to participate in this, that can put a target on your back on the internet. That can very easily, like, people can see that and go, okay, you hate this, and then target this person, and then, you know, not what it could tank their career, it might not, but other way, it's just it's backlash for the sake of backlash, all because you don't support something. So I don't, you know, is this the place to take a stand? Like, I think that you should take a stand where you can, but I also, like, understand the fear of not wanting to get hate mongered because you believe in something. So, like, I don't know.
Well, Elon Musk doesn't care.
It's like a lose-lose situation. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, he doesn't give a shit.
He's like he's a pariah. He loves it. He loves when people crap on him or give him praise. He feeds off that stuff, right?
Do you know why? People mention him, his stocks go up.
Exactly.
He is again, we talked about it before, but he is the ultimate. He is your Lex Luthor, right? He is the man that, like, no matter what he does, he makes money. Even if he were to lose money, he just needs to correct a tweet or say something else or buy a company, and his stocks go right back up. And nothing can affect this man now. It is scary that there is no way that Elon Musk can lose money. There's no way that he can become bankrupt. The only way is if the governments decide to just shut him down somehow. If they raid him and seize his
getting
accounts.
into cryptocurrencies, like
if you put all his money in crypto, there's nothing he can do.
He can make his own crypto. They've got so much money they can make their own servers and mine it like crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and he's got the companies to power it, right? It's just he's gonna be invincible soon. Next thing you know, he's gonna be making a robot army, and we're all dead. So,
like, it pisses me off when people, not as much now, but people before used to refer to him as like the Iron Man of the real world because he was like this billionaire doing this stuff. Yeah. And I think we've all learned that he's actually like the Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, he's like he's the Justin Hammer. He is the Justin Hammer.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know, he's definitely on his villain arc. I think he might have possibly had a hero arc in previous years, but that's
when he was like younger, maybe.
Yeah.
And he just like wasn't crazy. He was just like, you know, just a tech billionaire.
Yeah.
Without being an eccentric dick.
See, he's the Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville, where Lex Luthor there started as kind of an okay guy. He was a good guy, and then he morphed into the supervillain that we all know and loathe to love. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Love to hate. That's kind of what's happening here. And continue on that superhero talk. Colin here. I am fucking on fire, by the way, with segues. I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too, I guess.
So this is another Variety article that Colin was able to grab. So Green Lantern finally cast who they want to play as their Guy Gardner. for their series. I guess it's been in development since 2019.
They're doing Guy Gardner for.
Yeah, they're doing Guy Gardner for the Green Lantern series.
Do John Stewart. He's the best one.
I know.
God damn it.
Yeah, there was a big outcry on Twitter about like, wait, why the fuck Guy Gardner? Like John Stewart is right there. Timing would be perfect for a John Stewart series,
especially in this current climate in like with the world, having another strong black superhero. Especially for
awesome.
DC.
That's awesome whenever though. Like,
yeah.
And it's specifically Guy Gardner's like the worst one. Like he's objectively the lamest Green Lantern out of the three big ones.
And that's the thing. So we're gonna talk about a couple of these things, right? So the actor who's about to portray Guy Gardner, his name is Finn Wittrock, and
I guess Tom Wolfhard for a second. I was like,
what? Finn Wolfhard, yeah. But like Tom said it, when I look at him, I don't see him as a Guy Gardner. I see this guy as a Kyle Rayner. If
he was like a big fan cast choice for when rumored Ben Affleck's Batman was going to involve Nightwing. He was the top of a lot of people's list to be Nightwing.
Yeah, like, he looks like he looks like he looks like basic white guy number 2. I do think that Guy Gardner's got a little bit of edge to him though, and I don't necessarily see that in this guy.
Yeah, no, I look at this guy, and like all I see is Kyle Rayner. Like he's the artist. He's like the fancy, like you said, the white bread kid, the new rookie on the thing who's got a lot of potential and promise. I don't see this guy as that, but I'll guess. And also, he doesn't have the build. Guy Gardner's like a stocky dude. You know what I mean? He's kind of a buff dude. That's his whole thing. Like I'm a buff fucking.
Actors can put on weight. I won't give him that because he can put on weight. He can get muscle. He can do that. I
guess it's just with his current build, like the way that he doesn't have wide shoulders. He has arrow shaped shoulders. So when you start building from that, you never really expand. You never really like. It's just more like you're going to get a nice toned body, yes, but you don't really. A lot of the time, they don't pack a lot of the muscle on. A good example of that would be like if you look at oh dear, I'm gonna forget his name. Chris, the guy who played the Arrow. I feel really bad right now.
Okay.
His body is kind of more of that where like it packs on, but it never really expands out. Or the gentleman who played Grant Gustin when he got in shape for the Flash. Now, like he's a slim, buff dude.
He's like skinny buff.
Yeah, but versus like when you look at a Ben Affleck, when Ben Affleck got buff for Batman v Superman,
huge.
Like the chest is puffed out, the shoulders are extended out, and like or Thor, Chris Hemsworth. Like fucking muscles upon muscles.
He's massive. Holy shit.
And like I'm not saying that Guy Gardner's that size, but he'd be closer to like maybe more of a Ben Affleck body type is what I would think if I think of Guy Gardner.
Well, there you go. The CGI him with Ben Affleck's body, and you're good.
Right? Or they'll do
the whole movie is just his head and Ben Affleck the rest of the body.
They'll do what they did with Shazam and just put him in a bodysuit. They could always just
exactly. Yeah. You see?
Yeah. The Tom, you better have the bowl cut.
I'm so confused about what happened with because I thought there was going to be a Green Lantern movie because they had all this announcement about it was going to be Tom Cruise was going to be one of the Green Lanterns, and then they were going to have it be like a team up of Tom Cruise, whatever Green Lantern, and then they were going to bring Jon Stewart and someone else on. It was going to be like a Green Lantern team movie.
I heard that. So again, I still haven't seen the Snyder Cut, but wasn't there a Green Lantern in the Snyder Cut?
Yes, I think it might have been Kilowog, but yeah, there was like a flashback. There was a Green Lantern was fighting against like with Zeus back in the fucking ancient times.
Tom is saying no. Tom did watch the Snyder Cut, so he'll know. Or was it one of the cutout scenes that he wanted to have in it that's not there?
There was concept art of Jon Stewart's Green Lantern that Zack Snyder had designed to look for and wanted to include in the movie, but he never.
Yeah, and they even cast a guy. They even cast a guy as him, and I don't know the guy's name off the top of my head, but they cast him, and then they filmed it, and then they cut it out the movie and replaced it with Martian Manhunter.
Okay, that's unfortunate because that would have been I wonder if they removed it, not just because he didn't get what he wanted, like maybe he still didn't get everything he wanted for the character, but maybe they also cut it out because HBO wanted this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah,
more likely.
So,
easily, like
it's harder to have two different Green Lanterns right now. Green Lanterns when you have a series and then there's the movie one. They want to separate everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the trend nowadays seems to be about those series, right? That's where it's really coming down to, is getting these stream series to get people to binge watch them, right? Versus the movie. Somebody watches once or twice, and then they're done with it for a while.
Well, it all depends, right? Because Marvel, the MCU right now, they're doing they've done their WandaVision, they've done Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they got Loki still coming up, and these are all these shows that could have worked as a film, worked much better in a series format where they have a lot more time to expand on the story, but still these series are affecting, in theory, what's happening, especially with Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision, they're affecting the Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. DC
I wouldn't
doesn't
say
play
that.
by those rules.
I don't think that they're having the Marvel TV series affect the like the movies, like the larger universe. Because what they're trying to do is have like the main events, like the main story points being the movies, and then the TV series are just kind of supplementary to give us a deeper look into the characters and their motivations and like connect us a bit more.
I understand. Sorry, what were you saying? Sorry.
People are basically, Kevin Feige said this in an interview. He wants people to be able to skip the TV series because he knows not everyone's going to watch them. He wants people to be able to skip the TV series and still understand the main points of where the universe is going with just the movies.
That's interesting because they just in the last TV series made a new Captain America,
and like you can't. So
if you watched Endgame and then I guess maybe if you watched Endgame and then you went right to Captain America 4, it could kind of relate because you saw Sam get the shield. But it shallows it a bit because you don't see the story he goes through or what it actually means to wield it.
But you don't need to because it still works from go to A to C without B working in there. You see him get the shield. He's like, oh, he's gonna be the new Captain America. Captain America 4. Oh, he's Captain America.
Okay, so
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
It's so in that mindset. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like me, Batman v Superman. Oh, look, there's a bunch of other these heroes out there that are just like us, and they have their own logos already that LexCorp had for some reason. And now in the next movie, they're all here. That sounds a lot like what the mistake that DC did, minus having the opportunity to have these filler shows to expand upon and affect the movies down the road. Because also with WandaVision, that book is, from as far as I can tell, is going to be the pivotal storyline in the new Doctor Strange thing. But now you're just going to see Wanda. Again, if you're following that idea, if they don't watch the show and you go straight to the movie, Wanda's just going to be in that kick-ass suit, and she could still be this grieving person, or she might have her kids around, but you're going to ignore that because you didn't watch the show? That's kind of shitty.
Agreeing with Colin, all of us are the fans that are really going to care about those details, and we're going to watch the shows. A lot of Marvel's audience who went to go see the movies aren't people that are hardcore Marvel people. Yeah. They're like, oh, I saw this other one and I like Spider-Man, so I'm gonna go see this, and then it's a cool movie. Or they're like, oh, a new Captain America, but the Falcon's Captain America. Like, okay, that's cool. I'll go watch it. Like, it doesn't make it as enjoyable, but it's still for some people, like everybody watches movies in different ways. It's way more enjoyable for us to see the backstory, but for some people they just want to see the movies. They don't.
I would argue that's with MCU, they have a special breed of fans now where they have and I'm not saying they're going to indulge into the comics, but these people have invested themselves in the last 20 years of films, or not 20, close to 20, 15 years? At least 10 years, sorry. At least 10 years of Marvel films from Iron Man all the way to now. And you're telling me that these fans who have watched us this whole time, who have supported and grown this, who are the core fans, which are the ones who are making them these almost billion-dollar franchises now, aren't going to watch a TV show? I don't believe that.
No, they're all going to watch it.
But what I'm saying, though, is these are the people that do watch those movies. Those are the people that are bringing it, the franchise to where they are now. It's not just random moviegoers. There's a lot of random moviegoers.
There is going to be, though.
It's the random moviegoers.
What I'm saying is that everyone who's watched Endgame has watched, in theory, and I strongly believe that, everyone who watched Endgame has watched everything from Iron Man up until that point, with a couple of 100 million, or maybe 100 million, maybe with a couple million people or 1,000 people who joined along the way. But that majority of people were there from the beginning, which means they would watch the show, which means they would watch, and That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is the shows should matter structurally, no matter what, and should have bigger impacts if they're not going to have the bigger impacts.
I
believe
think
that.
vastly overestimating the importance of the fan base to their financial gain, because how many, like, what was it? How many billions of dollars did Endgame and Infinity War make? It isn't all 100% comic book fans, like the diehard fans, going to spend that money. There is a huge portion of that audience is going to be just the general movie going like, oh, that new Marvel thing. Okay, cool. I'll go watch it. I've seen a few of the other ones, so and I kind of like those. Like that part of the audience is way bigger than you think.
I agree.
At this
I
point,
agree.
I'm gonna politely disagree for the simple fact that from everything that I've seen, again, I know online is such a small portion of the people that watch these, but they're the more vocal ones, obviously. But from what I've seen from here to now, there are the average, and I'm not talking about the comic fans. The comic fans are completely separate from the people that I'm talking about. Comic fans are the ones who will read all the comics, like from the beginning to now. They're the ones who will watch all that stuff and then some. They'll dive into the podcast. They'll go into the lore. They'll watch the cartoons. They'll do all of that. I'm talking about Marvel has built themselves such a Marvel Cinematic, the Marvel Studios has built such a specific fan base that are the ones who brought it to the billions, who are the majority of the viewers who are watching these series, who are then grabbing their significant others or their grandparents or whatever to come watch it with them. And that's how you get your general moviegoers. But the main concentration of them, it's the majority of the ones that get these money, the films to where they are now, and they're the ones who watch the show, and I think who would watch the shows and the films, and they're the ones who would care, which again is the vocal majority of them, who would want to see these shows impact it more. That's what I honestly think.
I agree. I see what you're saying, and I think that definitely, like, let's say you watch Captain America 4, just going from Endgame, you don't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier happen. I think it cheapens the experience a bit. Not seeing the journey Sam goes through to what that shield means, and Bucky, what he goes through to get over that, cheapens the experience of the movie. But like, I agree with Colin, though, there is still going to be people that just aren't going to watch.
I know that. That's not my argument. What I'm saying is
the majority.
I'm saying the majority.
It's a huge. I understand. I agree. The majority is going to watch all this stuff, but I don't think it's just like a little bit, like a small percentage out of the few that's just going to see the movies. Because I think a ton of people saw Avengers Endgame with barely any recognition of the Marvel universe, because it was the big movie that was making a ton of money and everybody loved it. So there's probably some people that were like, okay, I saw one of the Avengers movies. I saw Age of Ultron. It was weird, but like, I'll watch this one.
It's weird.
And then it just maybe didn't hit for them. Maybe they're like, okay, that was cool. I didn't really get it though. But like, the thing is, like, Endgame made like $3 billion. Like, that's a lot of people going to see that. And in comparison to Infinity War only made about $2 billion. $1 billion is a big difference in fans. And it's not just directly from one, those fans who saw Infinity War to the ones that saw Endgame, because it's $1 billion difference. There's going to be like people are going to see these movies just because they watch movies. Like, old people are going to watch these movies because they're like, I went to the movies and everybody was seeing this one, so I saw it.
Yeah,
and they're like, I didn't get it. It sucks.
I think the strategy behind the whole TV series stuff is really to streamline getting new people involved in the universe and getting them interested in, because it's a lot easier to watch a 1-hour episode or even a 45-minute episode and get them hooked on that episode and that story, build that story up, to then branch out into these other things.
I think it's the opposite, like, because it's like going to be a lot easier to get someone to go to the movie for the new movie and spend just 2 hours watching things blow up and watching the whole movie, versus getting someone to watch a 6-hour TV series where, like, most of the time is them talking about interpersonal stuff.
I'd agree with you. The one exception, I know a lot of people that have not watched any movies that tell me everything but WandaVision. A lot of people, right? So many freaking guys I work with, for example, like the one guy, he's like, I've never seen Endgame, but I watch WandaVision. I'm like, how have you not seen? Yeah, right. I don't know. Maybe it's just the
So this
demographic
is
I've
that I'm
really
in.
seen the opposite. I've seen a vast number of people more go see the movies and only care about the movies, and they're not going to invest more time into getting to know the characters in
So-
TV series.
I have a
Go ahead.
question, Mike, just to some of the people that you know that are like, I watched WandaVision, but I didn't see Endgame. Are
Mhm.
they people with families?
No,
No?
no.
Okay, that goes again. I was thinking that they would have Disney Plus because they have kids who want to watch
Yes.
Disney movies and
This
shit.
is
So
it.
then they see that on
And
there and they go to
that's
it.
part of the thing that I'm saying, though, right? Is it's Disney's strategy of basically trying to get people invested in these kind of, how do I say it? These other routes, right?
Yeah.
Versus just the big movies, big movie. Hey, I've got a Disney Plus account. Hey, Dad, I'm watching this show. Do you want to watch it with me? Watch one episode, see if you like it. Oh, okay, I do like it. Then they're buying the Disney account. You know what I mean? And they're just creating more revenue long term versus these big freaking movies, right? And that's what their strategy is about.
And
But I also I
oh,
agree
sorry.
with Colin. Sorry, I agree with Colin too that I think just from like a basis, the idea of going to the movies, you know, getting popcorn and watching a movie is a lot more appealing to I got to put my account information in, I got to put my credit card in, I got to subscribe to this account all to watch a TV show which I have to wait every week for it to come out. Like it's more accessible for it. This movie came out, I'm going to go see it, then I'm going to wait every week for this like if all the but if you're coming in later and all the episodes are out, then I guess maybe it's easier to say, okay, I can just watch these and then turn it off like whenever. But it's, you know,
If this was 2019, I'd agree with you. But with
I
COVID
guess,
coming
yeah,
into
now-
the play, there's so many people that just I can't go to the movies or I don't care to go to the
Yeah,
movies. I'm
that-
watching this
okay,
other stuff.
yeah.
I've got these streaming services that I'm using, right? There's just so much more push for streaming services now, and that's the direction that the industry seems to be going. It's all
Yeah.
about get this streaming stuff going because that's Disney. I mean, that's basically what they did. They came out in 2019, and they've just ever since COVID. Wow, people aren't going to the movies. Dump
Yeah.
everything we can into this streaming service.
I'm sorry, what was that
And
sound?
how do you get people? But how do you get people invested in bigger movies? Right? Is especially if they have even original not interest or they don't want to sit down for a few hours. You go with the smaller bits. It's just like any kind of trailer. You want to get somebody invested in something or get them interested in a movie or anything like that. You spend 5 minutes with a really good trailer. It gets that interest, right?
Yeah,
Versus
you could see how like a deep lore TV show with references, more specific references and stuff, could be a little bit inaccessible to somebody to compared to like a movie. Like I understand like a TV show format is easier to watch. It's less abrasive. It's more gives you more time with it. But when you look at like what they two represent, like I think that it's maybe not inaccessible is a bad word, but it's just a little bit more niche for a TV show focused on different side characters with, you know, we have to introduce stuff compared to a movie where they say, here are your characters, they're going to fight the bad guy, you know?
But that's exactly that's what I think is exactly what they're doing, right? So they try and get a character to build a story off of that people get invested in. Then they're like, okay, this character is in this movie. I'm going to watch that because I mean, Endgame is just a whole bunch of people. There's no story about each individual person. If you haven't watched any movie and then you watch Infinity Wars and Endgame, right? Let's just say
You'll just think Thanos is the main
you'll just think
character.
exactly. You'll just think, oh, it's just a big war, right? There's no real big character development. So if you want to, in my opinion, or at least if I was watching things and I watched a show and I heard some reference in that show, it would get me more interested to invest time in wondering what this movie was about versus the opposite.
To that point, I think you are vastly overestimating how many people give a shit. I think you are really
About,
overestimating how
like,
many people
yeah.
give
I
a shit
mean,
about the character development and how much of because we are still a part of that niche group who care about the characters and who watch basically everything that comes out versus the general movie-going audience who are going to be the majority of people who spend money to go to movies and give these companies the money. The vast majority of it barely give a shit and are just going to be like, oh, the new Marvel movie, oh, that Captain America guy is cool. Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, funny, cool. I'll go watch it, and then that's it.
So
I see what
Michael,
you're saying.
Michael is the general viewing audience. Michael is the guy that you're talking about right now. Yeah, I could point down because he's right there, so it works, right?
Exactly.
The other way,
right
other
here.
way.
Tyler,
Wait, this way.
Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
there.
But so that's
Yeah,
how that's how it works.
So
Like,
as a guy that's just not as invested in it, honestly, I've been more interested in seeing like Loki. I want to see it. 100% I want to see it, right? I've watched some of the movies. I haven't watched them all because I'm just not interested in all of them. It's just not my thing. I don't, Thor goes Dark World. Blah,
No, don't talk about Dark World.
It's just like,
no.
it's just like any of the other ones, right?
Dark
I mean,
Elves?
right, so like there's just some of these movies, even like I think Iron Man, what was it, 4 or something like that? I didn't even bother watching. One of the Captain Americans I haven't watched. Yeah, 3. Sorry, yeah, right. So, and that's what I mean. I'm just at that point where the movies, okay, I'll pick and choose. But the show, if I start watching the one show, chances are, because of how they make shows, I mean, you're gonna get invested in it to a certain point. We're gonna watch all of it. Right?
Wow, that is fair, and that is completely fair. I am still going to say that you're probably an outlier in this.
Well, maybe.
Probably. That's the thing. There's so many variables involved in this that, I mean, it's hard to tell without actually doing and looking into the statistics and really doing the research to see which side is actually the one that's got the most points. Because we have...
Sorry, this is just like kind of a way to look at it from a different lens. Do you think that anybody would go and watch Star Wars The Clone Wars, the animated show, before they would go and watch any of the Star Wars movies? Or do you think if a Star Wars movie came out in theaters, they would go to that Star Wars movie instead of, between the two, what do you think is more accessible to them? And what do you think is easier for them to get into?
We're talking about before and now, right?
But, but we're talking, now...
in my opinion... I'd be more to what I'm saying now. First, if we were in 2019 and we hadn't had COVID, I'd 100% be with you, 100%. Okay. Yeah. But being a dad, especially now, and seeing all these things, like, I mean, I've got Disney Plus, and the things that they pop up, it's not movies half the time. It's these stinking shows now. It's all about the shows. WandaVision, Falcon, like. I'm not a big TV watcher anymore, right? I got limited amount of time. My kids are on the TV half the time. I'm gaming. That's my world, right? So, but when I do look at these, I mean, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was the only one that really kind of piqued my interest at the time when I was watching. What was it? I'm trying to remember what I was watching. Something old. I love old movies. So, but that's just I mean, like in my personal opinion, I'd be more apt as a dad to be like, okay. If I'm going to watch a show with my kids, I'm going to watch a show, not the big movie, because the big movie, there are certain references that I'm not sure I want them to be interested in yet. We'll watch the show. So, yeah, like Clone Wars is the example that you used. I would totally, right, be watching that first before I bring my kids to a theater to watch the big, blah, blah, blah. Well, but at the same time, again, in the past, big movie, 100%. Now, I would probably say, because of how Disney is targeting people, it's people are going to be more invested in watching the show first or getting interested in the show first and then go to the movies.
Speaking of targeting
of Disney targeting people.
Well, speaking of targeting people, I'm going to target you guys, this week's sponsor. Which is us. It's us.
Which is us. Yeah.
It's us. Yeah. But I have a fun little segue afterwards to talk about that as well. So this episode of the SSN podcast is brought to you by us, obviously Select Star Network. You guys are actually watching a bonus free live episode of the SSN podcast because there was a miscommunication and a Instagram sent out saying that we were live on Twitch today. We're not supposed to be. We're supposed to be live for our patrons only, and if you want to be a part of that illustrious group of schmucks, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/selectstarnetwork, and from there you can decide where you would like to start your support. We have things as low as $1.20 if you're in the States, or if you are Canadian, it's $2. So it's a cup of coffee. For a cup of coffee, you can go ahead and join.
Gotcha.
You could also go up to the $15.50 mark, which is in Canadian. I believe it's about $13, $14 American. And you'd be able to watch this live, uncut, raw, with the post show, where we get to interact with you, the schmucks, a lot more, and talk and chill and just have a good time. If you cannot support us monetarily, that's fine. You can go ahead and just share, like, follow us on all of our platforms for the podcast, which is Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. I think I added another one. I can't remember what it is right now because Tom gave me the heads up on it. All those things you can do and go ahead and join. We love you for your support.
We still stream on Twitch on like other
yes. I'm in the middle of an ad read. What are you doing? But yes. All those things can happen, and thank you so much for being here. We love you so much, and I'm going to talk about 2 things before we wrap up. One of them being, this is ad time over, so it's 1:29. All right, I got to mark this down real quick, guys. This is important to me. I'm tired of looking through where I did the ad reads and not remember where I did it. 20. There we go. There we go. All right. So one of the things that actually happened a while ago is we have the new show Writing with Dice, starring right now Lib and Colin, and that's happening every Wednesday, and that is going to be on Twitch no matter what, because we need that interaction for how the story goes and how the randomizers, which is you bastards, can sway positively or negatively of the story. So Colin, I want to ask on that, and after that we're gonna have one more subject to talk about. What made you decide to start the show?
Lib and I talked about it a while ago. I forget if it was Lib's idea. I think it was Lib's idea originally.
Yeah,
but
it was
we tried to do this
we
tried to do this a couple of years ago, and it was just like we were trying to do it in the same location, and it was like an hour drive between us, and it was just like not a good. It was just not going to logistically work at the time.
Yeah.
And then we realized, oh hey, we're getting the SSN podcast back. We're starting to do other content. Now is maybe the time to do it again, because we wanted some kind of unique podcast of our own design, and we both like writing and coming up with stupid bullshit stories, and so we kind of put that game together.
Yeah, and we even we did a little post show, just me and Colin just talking.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna release it or not. Like, it's just kind of something we did, and we recorded it, and we just shot the shit, talked about it. But we even said, like, we were talking about viewership and stuff, and we were just like, we don't even care if no one watches it. Like, we'll just do this because we just have so much fun doing it. Like, it's one of our favorite things. And like, we're thinking about different ways to mix it up and stuff. We don't want to do the same thing every week, but it's like that idea of we all kind of have that comedic style of taking an idea and run with it. So we said, let's put it into an idea where we literally are grabbing an idea and just fucking like make a story out of it. Try and make with and we try and hit the points. Now, I think the one thing we need to work on is just timing, because it we talk so much, it just kept.
Oh yeah. There was a point when we didn't have any of the actual story bullet points down, and it was like, oh shit, we were supposed to wrap up. We
gotta go. We gotta make the story. So yeah, it's kind of like, I think it was literally me and Colin were talking once. Like, we were just at a bar, like drinking and talking about like movies and shit. And I was like, we should do like something like with this, because we do this all the time. I'm like, but let's like mix it up, like add like some random nonsense to it. I remember one of the old ones we shot, cause we just recorded some old ones but didn't end up publishing them.
Okay.
We did one where we had to make a movie about the guy who shot Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth.
Oh yeah.
About how he was framed, and then how he's the good guy who had to like try and get out away from the CIA and shit. Like, it was.
And halfway through, we got the change up that like, oh, we have to make this a musical. So we had to like blot out musical numbers of like, I was just framed, they are chasing me, I just killed the president. It's like
it's
nice.
so fun. Like, and it's just so fun for us to get in and just come up with it. And honestly, like, I find every week we do it, we have such good ideas about what we want to do. Like, last week we had this idea about like a cult leader and a guy who's in the cult who's like trying to get out. But then halfway through, when we were doing our randomizers, we had to just completely rip off Infinity War. Like, that was the randomizer, was rip off Infinity War. Like, so we had to change everything about the movie so we could try and rip off the plot of it. Like, it's just a fun idea me and Colin really like to do. So we're like, now's the chance to put it live, put it, out there for people.
Yeah. And you mentioned the post show earlier. I think we are going to release the post show as a Patreon exclusive.
That's right.
Yep.
That's not a part of the ad roll. Don't worry, guys.
Gotta bring that money.
But yeah, that's fucking super awesome. It is nice. This has always been the dream for me, is when we start doing this stuff, especially now since with the restrictions that we have with the pandemic, people able to create stuff on for the network, and it's not something that I have to sit down and be like, all right, I'm gonna host, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Literally, Colin and Lib are taking the reins on it. They're controlling it. They already have their overlays and their designs. They have the theme. Everything was great. And I sat there, I'm like, this is the moment where I realized, like, yeah, like this is what I wanted all along, and we're getting it. It's awesome. Yeah. It's really, really cool. And also with Colin and Michael streaming on separate days and stuff. And then I can come in when I can on the weekends. And then the other stuff that I'm going to talk about a little bit on the post show. But this is connecting to, I'm going to talk this very briefly. This is connected to the ad read. We were approached by someone. I can't mention who, but we were approached to do a review of a product that is similar to Manscaped.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. We got approached by this company. I'm not gonna mention who it is because I don't want.
That's awesome.
I don't want to I don't want to give them any
Yeah.
free advertising, and I don't want to also lambast them, like just throw them under the bus. But I saw the product and I saw this person, and it looked kind of fishy because they contacted us via Instagram. So I wanted to do some research first to see who they were and whatnot. And I looked at their Trustpilot ratings. First of all, they're not even recognized by Trustpilot. Like, they haven't made an account there, which is always kind of sketchy for me. Second of all, when I looked at the reviews, when people did post things about them, apparently it was like such cheap plastic and materials. And again, this is something that's supposed to, for men and women, technically, if you wanted to trim your nether regions, to have comfortable, smooth, everything. They're like, this stuff is cutting my balls. I had to go. Yeah, one of them, it's like, you could just go grab a Philips hair trimmer and do a better job. It's gentler on your skin than that. And like all these things. And then the one positive review that I saw was basically like what you said, where it's like, oh, it's Jenny from Amazon. I love Amazon. They're the best. It is basically this robot being like, I love insert product. Their insert line is really great. I would highly recommend insert product. And I'm like, oh my God.
Larson, I just want to say one thing. You're not the only one who's been contacted by someone with trying to get something like that out.
Oh my God.
I got an email from someone trying to get me to promote, and they gave me like this whole huge list of products. Like, if you're interested in this, you can promote this for this much. If you can do this, we need you to make this kind of post or this kind of video lasting this much for this product. And I genuinely look through the list of products, and they're all just fucking weird. They're like chi powder, mushroom protein injections, fucking Instagram creeping stuff. This is the weirdest fucking products you could imagine. So yeah, we're getting
kind of crazy that we all actually have integrity of some sort. Then, huh?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like,
you just took the money and ran.
Like,
take the money
here's
and
the
run.
thing, right? That's the other thing. They weren't even promising money for it. They're just gonna send us a review kit, and then we're gonna review the product. And it's like, okay, that's not how this works. This isn't just you giving us stuff so you can get free publicity, and then we get potentially a harmful equipment that'll hurt me. Yeah, no thanks. I'd rather pass. No, this is supposed to be a service of, if we like you, if we've done our research and we want to support you, yes, we can talk to an agreement about, paying for an extended period of ads over an extended period of months and see if it's worth it for you guys. If not, I'm not just taking your free shit because we're starting and we need, it's not like we need that to help promote us. I'm sorry, that's not how it works.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that was that's one of the things that happened there that kind of made me laugh. But yeah. We're gonna wrap it up there. It does make me laugh that I wasn't the only one that got contacted. So thank everyone for joining us for the regular show, the regular portion of the show. We are now about to enter the post show for Select Network Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, I want to make sure I got this right. We got Michael down there. We got down this way. We got Lib, and then on this side, we got Colin. Thanks so much for joining, guys. We really appreciate it. If you're not sticking by for the post show, I understand. This one, actually, you won't be able to. This is going to be the one part where we're going to just stop the one half, and we're going to record exclusively for So if you want to see what we're about to talk about now, you guys know where to go. So thank you very much for joining. We love y'all, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.